Thanks. Good check out.
Okay. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Morning.
Morning. So first of all, I want to basically greet everyone and thanks for coming. We have some Spanish people today, so I will be going English and Spanish a little bit occasionally. During the sessions, during the classes, if you will keep the screens on and mute so that we don't have the interference with sound. And then at the end of each session, as same as last time, we'll have time for some questions. And then you can... The other thing is that the theme today is, as you know, it's going to be kihon de kino nagare, and we're also looking at power. And this is something that I'm going to weave through all the topics that I'm going to explore, and we'll go into that as we advance. Okay, Michael is making this recorded, so for those of you who want to use some of the classes or all the material later for review, it will be available. I think Michael has let you know about that already. Okay, so we're going to bow in, and then okay. Okay, so we'll face the Shomen. It stays there. Shomen ni so she'll be assisting me if I need any help. Okay, we're going to begin with Bokken. So begin. So take a Bokken. Okay, so I always begin my seminars pretty much with the first suburi, for this is for me as the root in a way, and so we're going to look at it a little bit, and then we're going to move into some different things with Ken. Okay, so first of all, I just want you to sort of go into maai, okay, and then just pull into the back. And then just for a moment, feel that all your weight, 100% of your weight is in your left foot. Yeah? Okay, and then just drop. Yeah? Okay, pull. Weight is in the back. Just move your hip a little bit so you really feel that the hip is free, and then drop. There. Yeah? So pause. Feel the weight in the left foot, and then shift into 50-50 at the end. First suburi with a pause. There. There. There, 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 there. Okay, carry on. Just check. Okay, so we're going to really build this up from the bottom. So I want you to focus on your footwork and really sense the weight going into the feet. Yeah. Okay. So in this case here, when you're in this situation here, when you're here, really feel that 100% of the weight is in the left foot for the moment. Yeah. And then shift into 50-50, and really feel that you're 50-50 at the end. That means the center also moves forward. Yeah. Don't make the mistake of leaving the center behind you there. So as you shift forward, you shift the center forward so you're in the end. So try and be more conscious of 100% in the back, shift forward 50-50. So you're 50-50 in each foot. Yeah? So just be a little bit more sensitive to that. Go ahead. 100% left to 50-50 as you finish the cut. Okay. Okay. So with this one, again, try and feel here that when you raise the sword at this point here, so although everything is raised, there's a sense that the weight, you're in contact with the ground, yeah? Okay, so as you raise the sword and you find the back, yeah, with the arm, really feel that the weight is still hanging here. And then drop, yeah? And then everything just finds its place. Try and avoid this, that you go here, then you're kind of hung up here, and then you're sort of high here, yeah? So you really need to sort of find the ground and keep the ground. So there, and then just find the weight, and then drop, and then find the weight, yeah? But here and there, no. You really need to be able to sink down, yeah? So at this point here, pause and feel that your weight is dropping into the ground, yeah? So the weight is down, and then you just shift the weight to another position between the base. Weight in the back, weight between the feet. Weight in the back, weight between the feet. Yeah, I try that. Yeah, so keep your contact, your feeling contact with the ground, especially when you raise the sword. Yeah, this is an easy point to sort of hit. You raise, but you stay underneath. You raise, but you stay underneath. Okay. Okay. So when you finish the cut, okay, try to avoid this. You go here, and then there's this feeling of pushing out or bouncing out here. Okay. So here, drop. That's it. Yeah. Your structure should just be in place. Yeah. So you drop there. You drop there. But don't push. Don't push out. Yeah. So you want to feel, one of the things when we talk about power, one of the things we're going to be looking at is that you're able to generate power from the ground out. Yeah. So footwork and being grounded and being able to generate power through the whole body from the ground is really what we're going to be looking at in detail. So that begins with this cut. You need to have a sense that you're really in the ground. And then when you move here, you're going to move from the ground. Yeah. So you don't want to be hung up or pushing away from yourself. Yeah. So here and drop. Drop, but it's like boom, straight into the ground. Yeah, I try again. So no pushing, no pulling. You just drop into the ground, and you should, later we'll look for this kind of rebound that comes through the body. Okay. Okay, so let's look at the raise for a little bit. Basically what we're doing at the moment is using the first supuri to just find the ground and to organize the structure around groundwork a little bit. Okay, so here you find you're in the ground and then you just drop here. Now, when you raise the sword, really be conscious that your right foot now pulls back, yeah? And this kind of motion here goes to the sword. So you're here, up, there. So you drop into the ground and you come from the ground. You drop, and then this foot moves back from the hip there into the sword. Yeah? There. Don't do this. Cutting and then pulling towards you and then pulling up. Yeah? So it should be this, up. This, so the sword comes with the body. Drops with the body, raises with the body. Drops, raises. Drops, raises. So you really feel the back foot and then the front foot. Back foot, front foot. Back foot, front foot. So the back and the front, the compression pattern in the back and the front foot drops the sword and raises the sword through the body. See if you can find that feeling. Yeah, go ahead. Raise, and cut from a sensation of compression in your feet. So this will relate the sword really down into the ground. Okay. Okay, another point about this is that, look, you're in a hanmi position, you're in an asymmetric position with your body, but you need to find balance within this asymmetry, yeah? So really think about your back, yeah? So when you cut, okay, and you drop here, your back should stay long. So there's no twisting, there's no turning the head. So really try and feel that here, you just cut from your back, but your back should stay going up. So there's, when you drop through the ground, there's also a sense of being lifted up through the back, yeah? So your back is long, yeah? It's not twisted and turning. So this first movement here, you make contact with your back and there's a sense of length, yeah? And that length continues in the back. You don't block and you don't twist, and you definitely don't add the right shoulder, yeah? So you drop, but you stay long up, yeah? So this is kind of a double thing, yeah? So make contact with your back, find the footwork, drop, and then up. But essentially your back is not really doing anything. It's just going like this. That's all it's doing. But it's not twisting around and bending. Yeah? All right, try again. But don't be stiff. Yeah? So make contact with your back and be aware of what it's doing. Yeah, especially the right arm. Yeah? Okay, look, so if we're able to put our structure in place, use the ground, so be conscious of the ground and the compression patterns that are happening in the feet, which are able to generate waves through in the body, and you can keep the back long, then at this point here, what I want you to focus on now is that you initiate from the center. This is also where we're gonna, when we do anything in Aikido, we're gonna be using the center, we're gonna initiate, the power comes from the ground, but the direction for the arms comes from the center. So in this case, the sword at this point here, that you drop. So the first thing that happens at this point here is that you drop here. Yeah? Okay? You don't at this point here begin here. Yeah? So don't begin there, begin underneath. Yeah? So be conscious at this point here that you actually start from this area here and you draw the sword down. You don't start here and push the sword down like that. Yeah, so this is a really important power point. Yeah, so to be able to use the whole body, you really need to have priority over the center and the legs. And the upper body should really just follow this feeling. Yeah, so pause for a moment and then drop. Pause, drop. Pause and drop. Yeah, at your own tempo. So really cut from the center. Keep the back in order, which disperses power if you don't. And really use the ground, the compression patterns in the feet. And be aware of twisting in the neck and in the right shoulder. That's it. Good, good. Good, that's better. Okay, so one of the really great things in this system, in the kihon system, is that we're really working with this balance between movement and stillness. And so we can really use this, yeah? And then also what's really important is when you're in the stillness part, the transition into movement, where do you begin movement from, yeah? Okay, so in the first suburi, you have stillness, and here we're pausing, we're breaking it up into one, but here be still, then initiate, yeah? But don't be doing this. And then cutting, yeah? So really allow yourself to be still, and then to consciously engage your center, powered from the ground, yeah? So at this point here, be still, pause, and then drop. And then drop, yeah? But at this moment, you really need to kind of like flood your body with your awareness and then consciously decide, rotate the center and drop, yeah? Otherwise, it's kind of fuzzy, yeah? So use the stillness more, yeah? Go ahead. Pause at that point, yeah? That's it, that's it, that's it. You need to really consciously engage the center. You have to break the habit of beginning in the arms. So this setup is to really engage the center and draw the sword down from below, not push from above. Good, that's better. Okay, so there's a kind of there's an exercise for this. Yeah, so it's actually a kind of a problem. You're going to use the arms, the weapon is in front of you, so it's kind of set up to kind of really take the upper body, but somehow the upper body needs to surrender to the lower body so that your center is engaged. So a lot of you are still sort of here, and then there's this kind of like this bounce, and then there's a lot of tension here. Okay, you need to have the sense that you're there. There's nowhere else to go. It's down. Yeah. So in this position here, you drop, boom. That's as far as it can go. What you can try is this. At this point here, just slow it and then drop. And then feel that the shoulders and the structure has no, you're like sitting in your structure. Yeah? Okay? So you can choose to go there. You can choose to go finish with focus, or you can choose to go down. But all of them should feel the same. Yeah? So if you feel that when you cut, it's like this, okay, then try and do this so that you come to this place. Yeah? And then look for that place in the cut. Yeah? All right, so experiment with dropping, placing, and focusing. Yeah, as you wish. But try and drop your structure. Don't push your structure down. That's it. Good, good. You need to really experiment. You're looking for a feeling here, yeah? Mm-hmm. Okay, one other point about this before we move on to some other things. Okay, if you push the sword down, if you push it from above, there's going to be a rebound in the body. If you drop, you kind of like settle. Yeah. So try and be a little bit conscious of what's happening in this area. So this is very important. So if I choose to push the sword down, this bounces up. Yeah. So if I push, this happens. Yeah. So what literally happens is at the moment that I engage power, my center is unstable. Yeah, and it literally bounces away or bounces up. So this is again related to power. Yeah, so you're really losing power at this moment. So you need to really sort of feel that everything is grounded and that the body settles and that the ground bounces through you into the weapon. This is this kind of rebound. So try and notice at this point here that when you cut, it just stops. It doesn't bounce up. Yeah. So there's no bouncing away. So this is really about efficiency. So try and put your mind into this area here, and as you cut, it just stays. Yeah, yeah. Here, it just stays, but not back. Yeah. Okay. So try and, for those of you who are doing this, you need to eliminate that. Yeah. Hey, go, give it a go. Put your mind into your sacrum. And notice what happens when you focus the cut. It should be settled, not rebounding. That's it. Good, good. Much better. Okay. Good. Okay, one last point. I mean, the first suburi is so important. Look, when you, this sense of extension, you don't want to be there. You don't want to be over there, pushing away from your body. And you also don't want to have your senses collapsed here. Yeah? Okay, so try and feel that the sword is being held by your whole body and that you're kind of expanding out. This kind of feeling. If the sword is just this heavy object in your hands, then there's a tendency to sort of pull it in here. You're kind of holding a weight here, yeah? And this is not really where you want to work because then you're kind of disconnected. The arms are holding it, the center's not. So try and feel, just for a moment, just hold the sword here, feel your body, and feel that as you pick up the sword and go into kamae, boom, your whole body. So you're holding the sword from your back, yeah, this sense. So the extension comes from behind you and from the ground, yeah? But don't sort of pick up the sword and there. Now it's kind of collapsed in front like this, yeah? Okay, so hold your body, feel your body, and then just pick up the sword, extend out. Feet, body, sword, this feeling. So you're holding the sword with your whole body, yeah? If you do this, it's too far. You're stretching out. If it just somehow becomes this weight, no. Body, there. You begin the sword in the back, that feeling. And then go back to the cut, and then keep that. Yeah, that feeling. Yeah, this. Yeah, I try again. So hold the sword from your back. Don't hold it in your arms. Then it just becomes this weight. So whole body power, when you hold the sword, when you strike with the sword, your whole body is holding it. Yeah? Okay, so let's go into another suburi and then build it up into a pattern a little bit. So from here, kamae, just go back into second and cut and down. So just second suburi, yeah? So kamae, pause, and cut. Kamae, pause, and cut. Yeah, nice, number 2 suburi, try that. So those of you with ceilings, make a slight adjustment. You can do it. So everything we do in Aikido is really about connection. This is a kind of a fundamental theme for us, of course. Okay, now, when you pull the sword up, don't pull the sword up in your arms. Really try and feel that there's a rotation here. There's a rotation here. So this, yeah? And then as you move, again, the center comes into play and then drops, yeah? So slow everything down and connect the sword to your body and center. So begin this very first motion here, this transition from stillness to movement, yeah? Study the transition here, yeah? There's a rotation and it goes there. You think about the body, there's a kind of this feeling is happening. This, so this, there. Then move and drop. Yeah? All right, connect more here. I try again. It's very subtle. You need to make these connections, huh? Really feel the sword is an extension of your body and in particular your center. That's it. Okay, so when we talk about power, yeah, there's a fundamental prerequisite for generating power is that your body is organized and that you're not doing anything which is wasteful. Yeah, so I read this amazing quote from Elis Amdur last week where he talked about it and he said that basically the suburi was really a practice of erasing inefficient movement or something like that. So the practice of suburi is really to basically make your movement pure and to make yourself completely one in what you're doing. And then power can be generated fully from the ground, from the center, from inside. But if you're kind of disorganized or doing a lot of tension or moving in opposite directions when you move one way, then power is dissipated through the structure and it's much less efficient. Now, having said that, okay, with the feet as well, when you move back, really try and feel that this happens. Yeah. So the center also controls the transition in the feet. There. Yeah. Okay. So try and feel that you don't do this and leave that foot, or that you don't move the foot outside of the center. So the center raises the sword, but the center also controls the footwork here. Yeah. So you go here, and then the center also releases the back foot and there. So your center is coordinating all the activity, yeah, in the body, but particularly the extremities. The hands and the feet need to be connected to the center clearly. So raise the sword, but also feel that that back heel, okay, when you turn is free, and then you move back, yeah? And then as you move forward, you release the heel again, and then you settle and then finish there, yeah? So think of your heel work and your hand work as one. Yeah, like that. I try again. So hands and feet controlled by the center. So really bring your body together. Yeah. Not sure if I showed that very clearly, but it's as if your sacrum has a line directly to your heel. Okay, that's better. Okay, so the first suburi, in a way, is the whole system is so beautiful. Look, it's just basically you just come here and you just place your foot there. Now, the second suburi, you're actually taking a half step. You're taking a step. Yeah. So this adds momentum to your motion. So the danger here is that you're basically overstepping your base. So you don't want to do this. You come here and then you cut and then this. You're kind of going forward in the cut. The movement is dragging. So you want to move forward by just taking another position in the ground. Yeah. So think about going from one position in the ground to another position in the ground, but not like going whoa and going forward. So that means this. Yeah. You go here and you go down. You go down. And that's the main thing. The down is the main thing, and the forward is secondary. Yeah. Okay. So try and feel that there's no rocking forward. This. Yeah. Try and feel that you go forward here. Yeah, but not none of that. Yeah. Okay. So again, try and feel that you are stable at the moment of striking. Go into the ground. Don't slide forward. That's better. Good. Good. That's it. You need to drop your weight. Okay, we'll go in a little bit. Yeah? Okay, so we go from this position here. You go back into number 2. Into number 7. Yeah? So from here, go back, cut, forward. Yeah? Hey, number 7. Let's try that. Number 7. Okay, so number seven presents a few main problems here. Look, okay, when you do number 7 here, okay, it's very easy for this shoulder to somehow go forward like this, so that you're in this position like that. Yeah. So again, you're in an asymmetric position, but your body needs to somehow align. So you go there, and then here, this. So this needs to be in place. Yeah. I don't want to sort of ride forward like this. Yeah. So this, yeah? So turning your hips and extending out. So it's a sense of extension now, but not rolling forward, yeah? Okay, so try and pay a little bit more attention on that right shoulder. It should be in the structure, not pulling out of the structure. Okay, look, so this is really about sensitivity. Look, what we want to do is we want to generate power from the ground using the center and the upper body secondary, right? Now, when you impact anything, whether it's taijutsu or weapons, you will get a reaction. This is physics, action, reaction. And that reaction comes right back at you. So if, for example, in number 7, you are like this and you strike, the reaction goes into the upper body like this. Yeah? Okay, so what you need to do is you need to come from the ground and the reaction needs to go back to the ground. And this will leave your body kind of elastically in between and free. Otherwise, you'll be knocked off balance by anything you do. Now, so try and feel that at this point here, what happens here would go to the back and into the ground. Yeah? So you're going to be in this structure, there, not that structure. This would throw you off balance. Yeah? Okay, so try and feel what would happen if you actually hit something. Yeah? So you strike, and then you down. But try and feel that this would go into the back foot, not into the shoulder like this. Yeah? Okay, so try again. Make your connection to the ground deeper on impact. Imagine the impact coming back at you. It has to go back to the ground through your body. That's better. That's better. Good, good. Good, much better. Okay, one little thing here about again. So when you're practicing center and controlling everything from the center, moving from the center, absorbing into the ground, this is really something that you need to pay attention to, especially in the transition between stillness and movement. When you're in number 7 here, okay, you've done your strike. A lot of you, again, start in the arms. Start in the arms and then push. Yeah. But try and feel that actually here this is happening. Yeah. So after you've done your cut, that. Yeah. So the sword really moves because the center initiates. So initiation, you initiate. You initiate. You initiate. Yeah. So from stillness into movement, the initiation always comes from the center. You need to kind of be fanatic about this. So if you go back to this, center. Here, center. Here, center. Yeah? So you teach your body to move in a very specific way. Yeah? Okay, so slow it down and make the 3 initiations from the center. Go ahead. Yeah? Really train your center to initiate. That's better. Good, good. You need to be kind of really conscious of your movement. The moment you're not conscious, habit takes over. And if your habit is to be discoordinated, that will take over. That's better. Good, good, good. Okay, so this idea of power coming from the ground is also the basis for kihon nagare work, yeah? Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to take this one motion here, and so we'll just go from here, so you just pause, and you just cut and move, yeah? And the feeling should be that you're in the ground and you move out of the ground, yeah? So it's like kind of like a bounce, yeah? Now, what I want you to do is an exercise. I want you to de-emphasize the ski and feel that the sword just springs out of this compression in the ground. Yeah. So watch. You're here. You move back. Okay. Okay. So you cut and then just let that go. Yeah. So it goes and it just goes. Yeah. Okay. And that should really feel that it's coming from what happens in your feet. Yeah. So you go there. You and then there. You see, I'm not really focusing this, but I'm letting the sword bounce out of the feet, yeah, in the movement. So this is really kind of a setup for kihon nagare, yeah. So there, into the ground, there. You see, it just bounces into the next motion. So that, yeah. I just try that. So this is a setup for kihon nagare now. De-emphasize the finish and work on the transition from the ground. Okay. Okay, super interesting. Look, if your cut at the very beginning is going back like this, if there's any of that back motion in the cut, you cannot, it's like you're going backwards and then going forward. That doesn't make any sense. So the hip has to go and then you bounce forward, but you don't and then do this, yeah? So you really have to have this, what we talked about, this idea of basically just coming into the ground. And that coming into the ground will generate the next motion. Really take this slow. Don't make this mistake of just going here and then just going forward, because then you go straight to the upper body, which means that on impact in kihon nagare, you will be knocked straight back in the throat. Yeah? Okay? So really go slow and go into the ground and just come out. You should go like, boom, like that. Yeah? So you're looking for a feeling, which later becomes faster and everything else, but the feeling is the core of the whole thing. So, like that. Yeah? But not that. Yeah? I try again. Look for a feeling of bounce from the ground. De-emphasize the thrust. But let the sword, that's better. Okay, that's better. Look for a feeling here. Yeah? Use the ground. Yeah, that's better. Okay. That's it. Good, good. Good. Much better. Okay, so we'll go on. Yeah? So I just want to give you a few more options for movement. Okay, so we're going to go back to kihon, and then we'll put it together in some flowing form. So you're here, center, 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 back into a block. And then just finish with yokominichi. Yeah? So these are 2 movements to the front, 2 movements to the back. Yeah? Okay, again. Here, 1, 2. Okay, then just roll round and block. Here, there. Then come in and then there. Now I'll show it from this angle here. You go back, strike, move, rotate here. Again, weight underneath, protecting yourself. Then release, yokomen. Yeah, so 4 movements. Let's do that together. Okay, kamae, jodan, 1, 2, 3, 4, and back. Jodan kamae, 1, 2, 3, 4, kamae, 1, 2, 3, 4, go. No, there's actually 4. At your own tempo, try that. 4 moves. Or 5, depending on how you count it. Very interesting. So watch. When you do the rotation, try again. If you lose contact with the ground, the rotation becomes a kind of a drag phenomenon, and you're kind of off balance during the rotation. This is the same problem we're having with Taino Henko. When you do Taino Henko like this, okay, there's this sense of dragging your weight, and then you're off balance. The idea is that the core moves, yeah? So with this motion here, you go there, okay, center, okay, center, okay, then just this, yeah? But don't do this, that, yeah? So don't let the sword do that, yeah? Okay, that's a moment of being unbalanced. So again, think about your structure, just rotating here, there, and then cut into the ground there. Yeah? I said, be careful, number 3. I try that. Don't lose your balance in the rotation back. Okay. Okay, so again, applying the basic training to these positions. This position you haven't practiced before, right? So you're in this position here, number 2. Okay, then you rotate there. Now my weight is underneath, yeah? So it's as if there are kind of like weights from the elbows, yeah? I'm not sort of pushing up here, it's like settled here, yeah? So try and feel that at this position here, as you rotate there, your weight is underneath, okay? Then again, as you move, again, the center, yeah? The center initiates, yeah? Okay, so again, really be conscientious about this rotation. So at this point here, again, the first thing that moves is the center, yeah? Center and then here, weight underneath. Center, there. So I'm really moving all the time from the center, out of the stillness points. Yeah, I try again. And keep your balance. Okay. Okay. So what I want you to do now in this last part is I want you to just try and slowly see how you would weave this more together as a form. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to show it real slow. Yeah. And I still want to keep the idea of weight, feeling the ground underneath me constantly, and the upper body is much more secondary to that. And then there's no sort of inefficiency. So moving back, strike, here, there. Move, finish. Yeah, okay, so moving back, strike, through, and finish. Yeah, so see if you can weave it together with a sense of weight and center. Yeah, I try that at your own tempo. Don't go fast. Okay, so the key thing to feel here, when you go to Kino Nagare, there's a whole change here. We'll explore this a little bit more in the other classes as we come to other stuff. But the first thing you need to feel is that the weapon doesn't stop. The weapon actually stays in motion the whole time. So if you do this really slow, you can actually see how difficult this is to actually do. Okay, so here, so from the first motion, there, 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 and there. Yeah. So the weapon actually doesn't come to any kind of sharp edges or turns. Yeah. Okay. So especially at this point here, before you stop. Now I want you to just come back and straight away in and then through and then round and then through. So what you should be seeing is there's much more of a wave is coming through the motion. Yeah. This is difficult, but try and keep the sword now in motion while you do it slowly. Go ahead. It's not kihon speeded up. Something's changing now. There needs to be another quality in the body. That's it. That's better. Sure, ask.
Is footwork changing a little?
Fractionally.
It's changing.
It's changing. Yeah. But it's really impossible to show. I've been showing it, but I can see that it's difficult. But this is where it becomes difficult to show.
Because you never settle.
No, I flow through my feet.
Yeah.
I flow from my feet. That's the key thing. Good question. Okay, so I've got Dila here with me, so she's asked me a great question. So when we go into flow, it's very easy for the upper body to just keep moving and then to lose this kind of bounce, kind of compression work, yeah? And actually the power depends on you having the ground underneath you, yeah? Okay, so when you do Kino Nagare, you really need to kind of investigate this issue of, is the ground still there? The movement may be softer and more fluid, but it's still got to have a sense of weight and power in it. Otherwise, it just becomes light and empty. We're going to go back to the first suburi for a moment. Yeah. So just pause, and then this idea of cutting into the ground. Yeah. But now I want you to get this sense of ground and just bounce. Just super simple. Look, I come to this position here. That's it. I just bounce out of the ground. Yeah. Now the key thing is that I shouldn't feel when I bounce out of the ground that I'm doing that. Yeah. What I'm actually doing here is just turning the hip, but this actually stays in place. Yeah. I'm not pushing anything. So this is completely like ground bounce. Yeah. So real slow, pause, ground. That's it. That's it. See? So that's in a sense the essence of Kino Nagare. That one motion. Yeah. I'm able to connect this, round, thrust. Yeah, that's kihon. Now, from that base into the ground, I use that to move. But the body is not basically taking it over above. That's the big problem. The moment Kino Nagare becomes this, okay, it's just worthless. Yeah. Okay, so try this as a final experiment. First suburi, cut, and then from the ground, just move forward. Yeah? I'm not even emphasizing the thrust, I'm just moving. Yeah? And then see if you can use that same principle, but just connect it, whoa, and just go. Yeah? Okay, just try those two. Kihon, Kino Nagare, off the first suburi into a release, into a thrust. So this is the essence of Kino Nagare. Without the ground, Kino Nagare is empty. That's it. That's it. Yeah. In this case here, back foot. Back foot. Yeah. In this case, look, I lift from the front foot, cut, and then forward, and just turn my body. That's all. Yeah. But too much pushing. Okay, so look, the reason that I took out the thrust fully is because there's an overwhelming tendency to go to the arms in kihon nagare. This is the disconnection from the ground and from the center. So when I do this exercise here, what I'm looking for is this. Yeah. But if I think about doing a full thrust at the beginning, then straight away I start going to the arms. So I can do a thrust as long as it's from underneath. So in this exercise, I'm de-emphasizing the thrust to get to the core of the movement. So there, down, that's it. That feeling. And later, if I want to make it more of a thrust, it's still there. Yeah, that feeling there. Yeah. But for the moment, just down, that feeling. Yeah. So it's really from underneath. Boom. That. Yeah. Try again. Few last seconds before we open it up. Yes, go ahead, go.
We also cut, release, and go, right?
Sure. Look.
So you never keep the breath.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. You see? Boom. Yeah. Okay, good. Okay, before we ask questions on this last break, I want to make one point clear. And this is a kind of a trap. Yeah. And this is a kind of a trap. I used to do karate. Yeah. So this is also a trap in karate. It was very strong. When we do the focus, most of the time what we do is we strangle the focus and we contract it back. Yeah. And this happens for a long time. So for example, for a lot of you I can see, when you do the focus, it's like a contraction in. Yeah. So this vibration is actually a pulling back. But actually it's an expansion. Yeah. It's actually an expansion. This. Without pushing, it's like boom. That it's not a gum like that. Yeah. Now, if you have the contraction pulling in on the focus, that literally pulls your energy back and blocks kihon nagare. If you have the expansion, it goes. But if you have this, it's like and then go. So this is something that you need to also investigate in the focuses. Yeah. So in this one, this should feel like open, but not like that. Kihon nagare is stopped at that point. Yeah. Okay. So with that sense of expansion, you can move. Yeah. So this is a tricky point, huh? But I think the first few years it's a closure, and then later it like goes instead of like that. Yeah. Just to make a point about where you get blocked, and one of the major points is in the kime. Yeah. So just to throw that out there. Okay. Any questions? Unmute, and we'll take questions, and we'll take a short break. If you have any questions, you can unmute now. Okay, so that's just some basic suburi, and just the beginning of going into kihon nagare and talking about power, which really involves organizing your structure and your movement in a certain way so that you can generate whole body power. Yeah, this is really based on suburi and basic work. Any questions?
Kijken hoe het eruit ziet.
¿Alguna pregunta? A José Luis, ¿lo tienes claro? Sí. Si habla, quita el... No te oigo.
Je moet je camera nog even aan.
Okay. Sí, comentaba que la transición es complicada y adaptar el kihon nagare al kihon es muy difícil. El kihon lo comprendo, pero luego la transición me cuesta bastante al kihon nagare correctamente hecha.
Sí.
Es difícil.
Es difícil. Y la tradición en Japón era que no se hacía kihon nagare hasta el tercer dan. Entonces pasabas
Ze
primero...
zijn ze hier, hebben ze een feestje erin.
Zo grappig, kijk, bij hem heb ik geslapen.
A través de
Ik ken dus die, maar ik kan hem niet vinden.
What he just asked was that the transition from kihon
Grappig.
to nagare is quite
Ik heb
difficult.
volgens mij in deze kamer geslapen.
And that really depends on having a very well organized structure, working from the ground and being able to use your center. And traditionally in Japan, Sensei did not really emphasize kihon nagare until third dan. This is the traditional system. So you spend the first part really doing kihon, 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 which is really working on your structure and working on the connections with the ground, your center and your arms, and slowly eliminating and purifying your body of unnecessary movement. And this paves the way for fluid motion. Yeah, and that's why traditionally we don't really ask for it in the tests until third dan where kihon nagare becomes an issue. Shodan, Nidan are all about kihon. Yeah, so that's why we really need to build a foundation in kihon before kihon nagare is possible. Okay. Any other questions from anyone before we take a small break? I mean, in a way, I always work on the first suburi in the seminar because I'm just obsessed with it. Because in a way, it contains everything. Everything you need to know in terms of your body structure, in terms of generating power from the ground, in terms of moving from the center, in this very simple swing of a sword is contained. And I've been training almost 40 years now, and I'm still discovering amazing stuff going on in just the most simple things. And so the first suburi is where we always start, where I always start anyway. And I drag whoever's training with me through it again. So, okay. Bien, we're going to take a 2-minute break. Vamos a poner una pausa de 2 minutos, and then we will continue. Okay, so we'll just bow. Just a slight bow to each other. Great. どうもありがとうございました。
どうもありがとうございました。
2-minute break.